What is up, people of YouTube? I'm your host Vernon. This is 33 hole. Let's fish that. Alright, ladies and gents, to be quite frank with you, I had a completely different plan for today. Being February, I thought I want to try and focus on some winter tactics, go to specific places where the fish are kind of trapped, see if I can catch any fish. So my plan was to go down to Lava Butte or the Las Vegas Creek, try and find the fish that are trapped in that creek and see if I can encourage them to go for some night crawlers. But when I made my way out here to Lake Mead, that particular section is closed at the moment. There's some construction work, so the entire wetlands trail, it's closed at the moment. Cannot go fishing there, and that kind of derailed my entire plan for this video. But we are still out here. We can still do some fishing. Now the problem is I only have a limited amount of lures out here with me, and I have some night crawlers, no other baits, so it can be quite tricky to find fish. But that is why I made my way to 33 hole, or the Las Vegas Bay area. This is not actually 33 hole, that's kind of dried up, but this is where the creek runs into Lake Mead. Now if I stand any chance of catching some fish out here today using night crawlers, my best chance would be in this particular spot. We have warmer water, the water coming from the creek, it's about 62 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a lot warmer than the lake's water, so any food washing down, there might be some fish around wanting to feed. So even though it's not the plan for today's fishing, this is the fishing we got, so let's get to fishing. We finally got something. Got lots of snags in the water, so I'm trying to guide this fish through them. No idea what it is yet. But the fact that we're using night crawlers, most likely little channel catfish. And indeed, we got ourselves a little channel cat. He's croaking, so probably a male. But it is our first channel catfish for the year. I've quite regularly talked about the catfish, and that in this particular part they sometimes have some parasites on them. What I mean with the parasites, right here next to his barbs, these are these little barbs. They're like fingers and tongues all combined. They taste with those little things. But right next to that we have two little leeches. That is what I'm talking about when I'm saying these fish have parasites. The closer you get to this inlet, the more parasites you have. These parasites love feeding on the fish. They're not harmful to the fish, so removing them might actually do more harm to the fish. But this little cat has been out of the water for long enough. Let's get him back into the water. Alright, little guy, thanks for showing up on the video, and off he goes. Alright guys, so I just quickly want to show you on my little Carolina rig, we have the little night crawler on there. I am using a rather big piece of night crawler. This time of year you don't want to use small pieces, you want to use half the worm or the entire worm. These fish, if they are feeding, they want a good easy meal. They're not going to go for small little pieces, so you have to go big. And I'm also letting a small piece dangle off. This is going to move in the current because we have current coming in. This is going to move, so it's kind of like a little Ned rig type thing. So even other types of fish will be willing to go for this if they're in the area, but I think at the moment we only have some shad and some catfish in the area, but more than happy to catch some of them. Alright, and what I'm doing, we have where the river runs in, it's a big brown whirlpool of water and some blue water all around, but I'm trying to go in between the two major streams we see there. There's a place where the water is rather calm. I'm aiming for that spot in between the two little inlets. That's where I've been getting these fish. I really do just have my little backpack out here with me and some night crawlers, no other baits I can use, but I was smart enough to bring along a few little lures, so I have a few lures that I can try out there, see if I can find some stripers as well. You've been seeing some of the people on the kayaks, they're using little paddle tails and stuff, getting some stripers, so I'm going to see if I can cast out far enough with my little setup to see if we can get any stripers out there. Have a lovely orchestra of coyotes. Don't know if you guys can pick it up on the little GoPro. Got another fish on. Again, we got quite a lot of head shakes. I'm thinking another channel cat. Just want to move a bit closer, make sure we miss the snags. You can see the different color in the water. There we go. This one has a bit more weight to him. Not that big, but full belly on him, a bit heavier than the first one. Also got lots of parasites on him, little leeches on the tail. Again, we got him hooked in the corner of the mouth. This one has a proper hook set on him. I'm gonna get them some, have to get my pliers to get the hook out. Alright, so we got the hook out safely, also grunting. So let's get this guy back into the water. And there he goes. Now typically this is not the perfect time of year to try and find some channel catfish, but at the moment with the warmer water coming in, these fish are feeding where the warmer water meets the cold water, and that's where I'm casting out, and that's where we're getting them. Alright, so this is not the ideal rod to be using for throwing around a big swim bait like this, but it's the only one I have out here with me, so I'm gonna throw out this big paddle tail on this little Zebco rod. Let's see if we can get any fish. Alright guys, so with the little paddle tail, it looks pretty good in the water, but I'm just not getting a good casting distance. So swapping over to a little lipless crank, something in a shad pattern. I'm thinking if I stand any chance of getting any stripers out there, I'm going to have to do some shad imitations. Of course, the winter picked up, so you might think it's a good time to be throwing around some bladed spinner baits or something. But sadly, I already lost the only one little spinner blade I had out here. Already got snagged and lost that. So my only option is to go for a little lipless crank. And we have a fish on. Another little fish on our night crawler. Again, same spot, just where the water rushes in. Another couple of head shakes. So again, I think we have a little channel catfish on. Lots of activity in the water at the moment, but most of the fish see jumping are big gizzard shad. Another little channel cat landed. This one broke loose, but no harm done, he can swim off. I'm only using 4-pound test line. We're trying to lift that one out of the water. The hook broke off, but the hook also popped out of his mouth. I saw it falling into the water, so that fish does not have the hook, but you need to tie in a new hook in any case. There we go, guys. These night crawlers have been working pretty well for me today. This fish is fighting a bit different. There we go, there's some head shakes. Still think it's a channel catfish. Like I said, these night crawlers have been working pretty well for me today. Wasn't expecting I'm going to catch lots of fish on night crawlers. But these little channel cats, even though it's still pretty cold, they're doing pretty well today finding my night crawlers. Careful when picking up catfish. You don't want to get spined. Their fins have some barbs on there. You don't want to get finned. Those barbs can do some pretty good damage, but this is a decent little channel cat. Not the biggest one that we got today, but a decent fish to catch. Fun little fish to fight in this stream. But let's get this guy back into the water. You can also see he has a little parasite there next to where he's bleeding, and then his little tongues that he's feeding with. That's how they're finding the baits in these murky waters. Fun catching this little guy. Let's get him back. There he goes. There we go, another one. It's strange, I've cast around all over, don't find any catfish, but as soon as I go for that one particular calm spot, I get some catfish. This one almost pulled the rod out of the rod holder, but I don't think it's a big one, it's just a lively guy. Indeed, I think it's one of the smaller ones for today. Again, lovely to catch something at least. Got a little hook in the corner of the mouth. Just want to get a good shot of this guy. We have some clouds rolling in, meaning I'm losing light conditions. But let's get him back into the water. And there he goes. Alright, so this morning I was in a particularly bad mood, having planned an entire video and to have all my plans just cancelled or thrown away. That was a bit of a shock. I even phoned the wife, told her that my entire day was ruined, and she said to me that maybe just go to 33 hole and just go do some fishing. Don't worry too much about the video. And lo and behold, what a great day I had. Now it is important to plan your trips. It is important to think about what it is you're going to be doing, what you need out there before heading out there. But do remember that fishing is a game of chance. Having your baits in the water, you always have a chance of catching some fish. And I'm not really sure how much I got on footage, but all in all, I caught 6 channel catfish in 5 hours. Not bad for in the middle of winter. Those are not typical numbers I would expect during winter, but like I said, it was at one particular spot where if I got my baits right in front of their faces, they were willing to go for them. And of course, that means I'm very lucky to have found that particular spot. But that is something we can learn from this video. Even if the things don't go your way, you need to think about what it is you're doing. Thinking about where to place your baits, where to find the fish. It's very important. Don't just cast out at random. Think about what it is you're doing. I know that on this channel I quite regularly try and stress that certain fish are active during certain times of the year, but this just goes to show that you shouldn't always just fall into that mindset. Sometimes trying something different might just get you some better fish when you don't expect it. Alright, but on that bombshell of a note, I want to thank you guys for following me on this trip. Please do give this video a thumbs up. It helps that other people also get to see the video. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, consider doing so. Hit the big red subscribe button. Join my community. I do weekly videos for you guys. And like always, feel free to ask any questions down below in the comments. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.